So today we're going to talk about putting a post in an anterior tooth and a molar tooth that's previously had a root canal. If the root canal was done at school, then we already have measurements of that tooth, and we can utilize those measurements to figure out the depth of how we're going to put the post in. We always want to leave a minimum of 5 millimeters of gutta percha in the end of the root. That's a standardized requirement that you can read in the literature. Anything less than 5 millimeters can compromise the seal of the root canal. So that doesn't mean you have to always leave 5 millimeters. You could leave more. It depends on the length of the tooth, the angle of the canal, and how much tooth structure is gone is basis on what you need. So today, this was a tooth that's taken from SimLab, and we don't have a length on it, so we're going to calibrate the length of the tooth, and then we're going to remove the gutta percha and place a post. So first thing we would do in the clinic we would take the image, and it's in the computer, and we would do a length adjustment on that. So I'm going to take this off the screen and figure out the length of what we have to do and go from there. The tooth, and it was 21 millimeters, so we're going to be we have to leave a minimum of at least 5 millimeters of gutta percha, so that would be 16 millimeters of post base. The other thing you also have to consider, and I'm going to put this picture back in for just 1 second, is if you look at the curve in that root, you're going to notice that curve may be less than 16 millimeters away, and a straight post drill isn't going to go around that curve. So you have to take that into account also, or else what happens is you put the post out the side of the root in some. So, and you also have to remember that this is a three-dimensional tooth. So if you look at it from this view, you'll see that it's pretty straight. So it'll take much more from that view than it would from this view. And fortunately for us, that's the view you get to see. So at 16 millimeters, we haven't figured out what size post that we're going to do yet, but we have to determine the length. So here's a post drill, and has a rubber stop on it from the endodontic files, and you can put it in here and you can adjust the length. Right now this is 16 millimeters, but say that that bend will only let us do it maybe 10 millimeters. So we're going to adjust that stop till we have 10 millimeters of post base. There we are at 10, so that means that this post would then go 10 millimeters down into the root. But we'll determine that by how easy the gutta percha goes down into the canal. Right now I'm going to leave it at 16, which is there, and then we're going to go forward with making our post base. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, now that I've measured that, here's the tooth and there's the access, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the touch and heat, and I'm going to initially go down into the gutta percha to make a space. So I'm not packing the tooth, I'm just removing some gutta percha. So I'll go in through the top, I'll turn this on, and I'm going to go down into the gutta percha, hopefully. And I'm going to remove some. There it is. And then I'm going to probably remove a little bit more, soften it. And I'm just making myself a space so that I could get in there with the post. I don't necessarily have to remove it all, but I want to create a space for myself so that I can get the post drill down in there. So once I've made a little bit of a space, you don't have to take the gutta percha out all the way down to the 16 millimeter mark. You just want to give yourself a start. For me, and what I teach is that I always start out with a post drill that's smaller than the post drill that I'm going to use, and I set it at the same 16 millimeters. And when you're drilling a post out, when you're drilling in gutta percha to put in a post, you're drilling in soft gutta percha. So the soft gutta percha shouldn't offer any real resistance to the post drill. We're going to also reduce the speed on this to about 20, because we don't need to go as fast. And remember that as I'm drilling this down, if I start to have a lot of resistance, that doesn't mean push harder. That means that I'm probably in that bend, and that's probably where I'm going to stop. And that may be short, like I said, of the 16 millimeters, but that's what it is. So what I'm going to do now is I have this set at 16, and I'm going to go and right there I'm reaching resistance, and it's not going any deeper. So I'm not going to try to force it any deeper than that. And that's actually right at 16 millimeters. So the post is still going to be a little less because that's up at the incisal edge. So that went fairly easy. So now what I'm going to do is, based on the size of that, I'm going to go to the next drill. So that was a number 3. Now I'm going to take a number 4, and I'm going to see if how easily that goes into the same length. You can turn the water off. You really don't need the water, but these drills sometimes don't cooperate. So we're just going to do it. So I'm going in now. That goes still pretty easy, but that's going right down to where I'm in that bend of that root. Okay, and I'm not going to go any deeper than what that is. That's 16 millimeters from here. It's from the incisal edge. It's not 16 millimeters from the orifice of the canal. So that may be a little bit shorter post, but that's where the bend in the root. That's where the bend in the root is. So that post went fairly easy. So I'm going to go up to a number 4.5 post, and I'm going to probably use that as the post that I'm going to put in the tooth. So here's the 4.5, and it's still set at 16. So we know that we're still set at 16, and I'm going to go into the tooth, and it goes there, and that's the size of post that I'm going to make. So now that we have that space, I'm going to go to the post box, and it's called the hot box, and here's a post. There's sizes, and we'll show you at the end. We'll show you the hot box and the sizes, but the sizes of the integral posts are 3, 4, 4.5, 5, and 6, and then there's appropriate drills. So this should fit that space fairly easily. The idea is to try to get this head, this portion of the head, right here at the orifice of the canal. So you don't want the post sticking up, or sometimes you can even cut that head off and just have a straight post in the canal. It just varies on how much room and how much space you have. So there's a little bit of thought process in this also. So if I take that and I put it in the canal, it's only going that deep. It won't go any deeper. So I need that to go deeper into the tooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize this distance, and I'm probably going to cut that off the end to see how that goes. So let me go ahead and cut that off. So I have a straight carbide. It could be a tapered or a straight carbide, and I visualized about 3 millimeters of that tooth that comes off. So I'm going to use a hemostat to hold it, and I'm just going to go in there. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to remove about 3-4 millimeters of that post. Just take it off, and then I'm going to kind of round that in so it's not so sharp. And then I'm going to go back and put it back into the tooth again now and see how it goes. So I'll take the cotton plier, and I'm going to go back into the tooth again, see how that goes down. It's going deeper. It's all the way down to the orifice of the canal. So that's a post that I'm going to probably cement. Sometimes if it's a badly broken down tooth, you can cut that big ball off of the tooth. Right now it's there to help you remove that because it gets stuck in there. There's a little hole in the side of it that you can go in there with your Explorer end, and you can grab that little hole. You can also cut that off if you need to, or you could shave it down when you're ready to put the post in so you have room for more composite. You have room for more composite if that head is smaller, or you can cut that head off. And everybody is different in how they do that. It depends on how badly broken down a tooth is going to determine how you do that. Sometimes if you're using what they call paraposts, the post doesn't have a big head on it. It's just a longer, straight stainless steel post that you can put down into the canal. This just happens to be what they call the Anterior post system, and this is how it works. Those little nubs on there are to help retain the composite. So what I'm going to do now is I fit the post. So now what I'm going to do is get ready to cement the post. Important thing, the cement that you use is a dual cure cement. So you want to be sure you don't have bright lights when you're putting this cement in, and you want to have everything ready to go because it's very, very difficult if you drop the post and you can't get it in the canal and that cement sets up. It's about an hour's worth of work to get the cement out. It's very difficult, hard cement. We use the cement that we're using is called Speedsem. It's a self-etching dual cure cement, so you don't need to do an etch and bond with it. It all comes in the cement itself, and it works very well. It's a resin type of cement. So what I'm going to do is get ready to cement this post in the canal. But that doesn't really affect the success or failure of it. What it tells you is that's where the bend in the root was, and that's as deep as the post wanted to go easily. So the next thing is, so we know we have a good fit, we know we have a good length. I could probably maybe have not taken quite as much off of the post, but that's not going to make a significant difference. Thing that I forgot to say, because this is on a bench top, is you always need to have a rubber dam on when you're putting in a post, because number one, you don't want to contaminate the root canal. Number two, you don't want the patient to aspirate a tiny little post. And you want to be sure you have a clean, dry field when you're cementing one of these. If you find that there's a lot of debris inside the canal when you're removing the gutta percha, you can use a product that comes, it's called IvaClean. There it is, IvaClean, and you can use this on a paper point to clean out the canal before you cement the post. So you'll put it in with a paper point, then you'll irrigate the canal to clean it out, and then you can dry the canal with another paper point. After you make your post base, if it's clean and you don't need to use the IvaClean, but you have some water from drilling, you need to use a paper point to go in and dry the canal before you seal the post in. So now we're going to get ready to cement the post. We've had the x-ray, we've confirmed the fit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cement the post. And before that, again, we have to dry it. An important thing to remember is we're using a cement called Speedsem. It's a dual cure cement. and it's self-etching, so you don't need to etch down into the canal. Very important that you don't overfill the chamber with the cement, because you don't want to cover the whole head of the post with cement so you can't bond the composite to it, or have the composite right up to the post. So when you fill the canal with the cement, you're going to only fill it up to the orifice of the canal and not beyond that. And so as this is the tip that we're going to use, it's a Centrix tip with a metal end on it. This is the plunger, and we're going to use a composite gun that you have in the clinic to deliver that to the canal. We will take the end of the mixing end of the syringe of the cement, and we will put it into the tip and express it in there, and then put it down into the canal. We won't try to put it directly into the canal from the cement itself tip. This is a light protective tip, so you don't have to worry about the bright light, but you still don't want to have a light going down in the canal, because that will set this up and you'll never get the post to place. You have a short working time, so you have to be ready to go. I would have my cotton pliers out. I would have them ready to go. I don't like to use locking pliers for these, because sometimes the locking pliers pop open and then the post is in Never Land and the cement is setting up. So I basically don't use a locking plier. Some do. I prefer not to have one. I just have my cotton pliers ready and everything ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry the canal, and then going to mix the cement, so here we're drying the canal. Make sure that it's nice and clean and dry. And if you need to use 1 or 2 paper points, you can do that. And then I'm going to have my cotton plier ready. Okay, so then I'm going to take the Centrix tip, and what I'm going to do is I always bleed off a little bit of the cement before we do that, because you may not have a complete good mix. So then I'm going to take, and you don't have to fill this up. You don't have to fill it up because it's not that big of a hole. Then you put the tip in, you put it in the syringe, and then you bend the tip so that it's like that, so it'll go down in the canal. And then you're going to put it, and you can look, and you can go fill it right up to the orifice. There, I filled it up to the orifice. And then I'm going to take this post, and I'm going to put it down into the canal all the way like that. And then I'm going to take a micro brush, and I'm going to go in there. We'll use a smaller one. There are some smaller ones. And I'm going to get the excess cement. And you could also even take an air syringe, no water, and you can blow that out and around, because it's curing inside as we wait and do it anyway. But now I have it cemented in there. And then what I'm going to do is take a light when I know I have all the excess out, and I'm going to cure that. Since you cure it, it cures at the surface, and it'll hold the post in place while it's still curing down in the canal. And then you can go ahead now and etch bond and place your composite into the access and prep your tooth, and you're done. And you'll always want to take a post-cementation x-ray to make sure everything is fine before the patient leaves the clinic.